Mom's dead. I found her in front of the mirror writing her last words in blood, while our dead neighbor smiled in the reflection behind her. But this isn't just another ghost story. You see, Sarah, our neighbor, had been dead for months when she started calling our house phone at midnight. My mother would answer, trembling, talking to empty air. We thought she was losing her mind, until my little sister started climbing walls, literally. And then I saw Sarah's face in the mirror myself. What I'm about to tell you isn't just a tale of supernatural horror. It's a warning. Because everything that destroyed my family began with a single missed call, one desperate plea for help that went unanswered. And after what happened in that house on Pine Street, I've learned that sometimes the most dangerous thing you can do is let a phone ring to voicemail, especially when the caller is already dead. It was midnight when I heard someone talking loudly on the phone. I got up and went to the living room where I found Mom on the phone. "Sarah, I'm so worried about Jimmy. What will he do after college? How will he handle household responsibilities? We're already having financial troubles. If he can't do anything, what will happen?" Mom was speaking anxiously. "Look, Susan, you've been obsessing over this. Have you talked to anyone? Maybe consult a good psychic about your household situation and Jimmy's future career." Now I have to go looking for psychics? That's all that's left to do? Don't be silly. You don't have to go anywhere. Just download this AstroTalk app at home. Our family had been living in the house since 1982. Dad's business was flourishing, and we lacked nothing. Mom had a friend named Sarah, who lived in the house across from us. Sarah would often come over in the afternoons and talk with Mom for hours. I was in 12th grade then. Neither had the maturity nor time to understand their conversations. But I could tell that Sarah often ended up crying while talking to Mom. We'd often hear arguments from their house at night. When there were sounds of crying and fighting from their house, Mom would rush over and return only after everything had quieted down. One cold December night, my little sister Amy had a high fever. Around 11 p.m., we heard crying and screaming from Sarah's house. Soon our landline rang. I answered it. "Jimmy, dear, let me talk to your mom." "Mom's with Amy. She has a high fever and can't come to the phone." Following Mom's gesture, I hung up. "It's their daily drama," Mom said. "Should I look after my daughter's health or listen to their story? I'll hear it in the morning. She's not going anywhere." Mom had no idea this would be Sarah's last phone call to her. The neighborhood was in chaos by 5 a.m. The news hit Mom hard. She started getting up at night, opening the door and trying to run outside. When Dad asked where she was going, she'd say, "Sarah is calling me. There's a fight at her place. Something will happen to her. Let me go." Dad thought Mom was feeling guilty about not helping Sarah that night. Gradually, our home's atmosphere changed. Dad's thriving business began to decline. The loans he took to save his business were lost too. Finally, he decided to sell our house. "Dad, we're not moving into that house," I protested. "Mom sees Sarah. Mom's condition is getting worse, and you're saying we'll live in the same house where she died?" "Son, there's no house where nobody has died. These are just superstitions. Your mother needs medical treatment for her depression. Besides, I've already paid for it. We're moving tomorrow." 2 days later, we moved into Sarah's house. Those days were among the most ominous of my life. Mom's condition was worse than before. One night, we heard someone screaming and crying loudly. It sounded like someone was being brutally beaten. I woke up terrified to find both Amy and Mom missing from their beds, and the whole house was dark. With a flashlight, I called out for them as I left the bedroom. When I reached the hall, what I saw made my heart stop. Amy's hair was disheveled, and she was staring at Mom with an eerie expression. Mom stood crying in the corner of the room. Suddenly, Amy began crawling up the wall in a strange way. "Mom, what's happening to Amy?" "That's not Amy. It's Sarah." That night changed everything. Dad tried using holy water and religious ceremonies to ward off Sarah's spirit, but it was temporary. The protective amulets from the shaman worked for a few days, but then one night I heard crying again. I found Mom in her room, standing before the mirror, writing something in red. As I got closer, I saw her wrist was cut, and she was writing with her blood. "If only you had talked to me that day, I would have been alive." In the mirror's reflection, I saw Sarah's terrifying pale face right behind Mom. Before I could save her, I heard Amy screaming, "Brother, save me!" I ran to Amy's room to find her standing on the balcony railing, 1 foot in the air. When I tried to grab her hand, there was no one there. Back in her room, Amy was sleeping peacefully in her bed. When I returned to Mom's room, it was too late. She lay dead on the floor, blood everywhere. Only I knew the truth about that spirit. Taking Amy in my arms, I fled that night. Dad never recovered from the guilt of leaving us alone that night and fell into deep depression. That dark night destroyed our entire family. Dad thought a psychic could fix everything, but some things, once broken, can never be repaired. The house still stands there on Pine Street, its windows dark and empty, waiting for its next victims. But I know better now. Some calls in the night should never go unanswered. If this story kept you up at night, you're not alone. Sometimes I still wake up at midnight, staring at my phone, wondering if Sarah is trying to reach someone else. Before you go, take a moment to look around your room. Did you see something move in the mirror? Was that a shadow or something else? If you're brave enough to stick around, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. There are more true horror stories coming your way. Drop a comment below if you've ever received a strange phone call in the middle of the night. I read every comment, and some of your stories might be even scarier than mine. Want to help our channel grow? Smash that like button. It helps more people find these real paranormal experiences. And if you know someone who loves a good ghost story, share this with them. Just maybe not at midnight. For more chilling tales like this one, check out our True Horror Stories playlist. Each story has been verified and documented, just like this one. Special thanks to our Patreon members who keep these stories alive. Join our horror family for exclusive content and behind-the-scenes footage by clicking the link in the description. Remember, if your phone rings at midnight, think twice before answering. Stay safe, and see you in the next nightmare.